Good evening to you all. Today we have gathered here to make our annual English presentation event today. In that way, I am very proud to welcome our teacher mentor Achidan Yogaraj to this event. First of all, I am going to invite Mr. Master Arivarasan to present on his topic.
Good evening, all of you. Today I am here to present about the poem To the Evening Star. The poem To the Evening Star is written by the English poet William Blake. The poem is written in Romantic era. This poem has 14 lines in it, but there is no rhyming lines in this poem. William Blake uses many poetic techniques in this poem. Blake starts the poem To the Evening Star with metaphor. Poet uses allusion Roman goddess of beauty, fertility, and desire, Venus. In the next line, the poet uses personification. The phrases west wind and speak silence contains alliteration. The other devices he uses in this poem are enjambment, metonymy, and rhetorical. The themes of this poem are innocence versus experience, natural beauty, light, darkness, passion, divinity, and purity. The most important theme of this poem, innocence versus experience. In this poem, William Blake has mentioned that the nature can solve any problems in this world. In that way, the poet has started the poem by talking to the evening star. The preposition to indicate that the poet is talking to the evening star. So, in that way, this poem is an ode. Ode is a poem which is talking to an object or nature thing. The poem has 14 lines. So we can divide this poem as a sonnet also. Thou fair-haired angel of this evening. Now list the sun rest on the mountains. Light thy bright torch of love, thy radiant crown. Put on and smile upon our evening beds. In this poem, goddess Venus is considered as the evening star. When the sun sets in the sky, the evening star, which is known as the goddess Venus, will appear in the sky. According to the poet, the star lights the bright torch of love. So we can know that the evening star is a symbol of love too. According to the Greek mythology, Venus is the goddess of love, beauty, and fertility. In this poem, the poet gives female characteristics by telling her as a fair-haired angel of the evening, who removes darkness wearing a crown. It calls personification. Smile on our loves, and while thou rowest the blue curtains of the sky, scatter thy silver dew on every flower that shuts its sweet eyes. In time this let thy west wind sleep on. The lake speak silence with thy glimmering eyes, and wash the dust with silver. Soon full soon dost thou withdraw, then the wolf drags wild, and then the lion glass through the dun forest. The fleeces of our flocks are covered with thy sacred dew, protect them with thine influence. Then the speaker asks the star to smile on their loved ones. The poet says the evening star draws the blue curtains of the sky and scatters the silver dew on every flower. The narrator asks the star to let the west wind to sleep on the lake. As the west wind is the symbol of destruction, he asks the angel to calm the spirit of the wind. Here, the darkness is considered as a problems will be solved by the evening star, such as prostitution, corruption, economic imbalance, etc. Here, the power of protection of evening star is highlighted. Thus, Venus can remove all the problems in their society and can protect them against the evils of night. The poet asks the evening star to protect them against the problems with her radiant ground. In that case, the absence of the evening star, the dangers of the night, will be appear. The dragging wolf indicates the darkness and the corruption. Repetition is a literary device which used to emphasize an idea. Here the diction soon emphasizes the dangers which are awaiting. In the last section, the poem To the Evening Star, the poet requests the angel of the evening to wash the dust with silver. However, the star is going to disappear in the night sky very soon. Then the wolf and the lion, symbols of experience, will come out and flare through the dark forest. Next, we will see about the historical context of this poem. William Blake, one of the early romantics, viewed nature in a different way. His use of symbolism as well as religious ideas makes his poetic works stand apart from a greater volume of romantic poetry. He uses visual imagery in his many literary works. William Blake was an English poet, painter, and a printmaker. William Blake died in his 1780s. Thank you for hearing me. Thank you.
Thank you, Arivasan, for your marvelous speech. Now, I would like to invite S. Arnavi to deliver her presentation.
Good evening to you all. Today I want to talk about the character analyzation of the play Twilight of Prane by Junji Kinoshita. The play Twilight of Prane was the heart-wrenching Japanese drama written in the Japanese style by the Japanese writer Kinoshita. He's the modern playwright of the post-war in Japan. Love is driving force of the world, and the author in this play clearly depicts the theme of love by using the several characters. When we analyze the characters step by step, we have to analyze Yohyo, who is a major character in this play, who adds the flavor to the novel. When we analyze Yohyo's character, we can understand that he reveals different kinds of notions in this play, and it creates the curiosity and as I told you earlier, the flavor to the play. At the beginning of the play, we can understand that Yohyo comes as a person who is very good-hearted and helpful. He comes in our mind as a godlike character by helping the crane who was injured by the cruel hunter in the forest, in that area. As a result of helping the crane takes the human form of as a Sue and helps Yohyo, and that crane enters in Yohyo's life as a lovable and caring wife. After the entering of the zoo, Yohyo's life was blossomed rapidly. Zoo waves Senba Ori and helps Yohyo to help and get enough money to live their life. And here Yohyo also sell them in the market and live a happyful life with his wife Zoo. But when we analyze this situation deeply, we can understand that Yohyo is not active enough to understand that active enough to manage their host of living. That's why Zoo weaves clothes to sell it in market. Here, the Yohyo is portrayed as a character who always sits beside the fire and dozes every day and every time, even though it is morning or night. This lethargic behavior of the Yohyo didn't allow him to work hard. As Senba Ori is very costly thing in markets and have a very big demand for it, he sell it and live his life with enough money and happiness. So he don't need to work hard, and he lived the life sluggishly. According to the first half part of the drama, even though the Yohyo is very lazy, he has enough love to keep his wife in a safe zone with loving and caring. He cares his wife by knowing that cold soup would make his wife sick. So So here in this play, he started to boil the soup for her wife. Even though he's lazy, he didn't hesitate to boil the soup. But when the two villainous characters Soro and Onsu enters in the life of the Yohyo was totally changed. Not only he was changed physically, but also he was changed mentally. As readers, we can see many notable changes in his behavior, and he was obsessed by the thinking of money and the money-minded words, and he has become a product of the corrupted society at the time. Until he has a strong connection with Zhu, who is a representative of the nature in this play. He's very pure and noble. He sees each and everything in a genuine way. But after the strong impact of the influence of the money-oriented characters Sodo and Onsu, Yohyo changes his behavior patterns, and it portrays the one of the authentic laws of the human characteristic. When we have friendship with good people, we also become pure and good at the same time. If we have friendship with bad people, obviously we also changed like them. Even though we are very good and virtue, we can't keep our goodness goodness when we have friendship with bad people. And it happened to Yohyo as well. His eyes are blinded by the money-minded words of his bad friends. So from this we can understand, and we have to learn to select the good friends and the bad friends and understand their impacts. We all know that because of the bad influence of the bad characters Soro and Nonsu, the character of the Yohyo was totally changed. So this situation taught us that we have to select a good friendship in our life, and impact of the good friendship. Here, because of the bad connections with Soro and Onsu, Yohyo have to lost his all dreams, lovable wife, and the good behaviors. We all know that it takes many years to earn the hearts of the people. At the same time, even 1 second is enough to destroy their hopes in us, and it is applicable for Yohyo. Even though he comes as a very good-hearted man in the first part of the play, his behaviors towards his own wife in the latter part proves his quality and the personality as a the worstest characters in the play. Even though his wife says her sympathetic situation and the weight losing problem when she makes the precious clothes for selling, his mind can't accept her wife's excuses. The person who cares her wife in each and every activities in the first half part of the novel disagrees the wife's excuses. And we all know that Senba Oris, even though Yohyo knows that his wife has to face many problems during the process, he didn't allow her to stop that process because his mind is possessed by the materialistic words. Here, the author draws the character of the Yohyo as a cruel and inhumanity character. And when we move on, we can understand that he breaks the promise of the zoo as well. Because of the antagonist of this play, Zoro and Onsu, Yohyo peeps her wife through the door leap and break her faith in him. Zhu leave a small leap in the door by strongly believing Yohyo, but he didn't behave trustworthily. And the latter part of the play, Zhu, who has ultimate love towards Yohyo, leave without any options. This situation brings us sympathetic towards the character Yohyo and make us feel sad about the life of the Yohyo, and it creates, I think, it creates the gloomy mood to the poem as well. Yohyo's harsh attitude towards his wife revealed when his towards his wife revealed that her harsh image of the Yohyo, and when his wife, who has unconditional love towards Yohyo, left, bring the big message to the readers. We may think that money can buy happiness, but until the arrival of the greediness in the Yohyo's mindset, he lives in peace with his wife. He sees the senba ori as a reward of love from his wife. But after the cruel influence of his fake friends, his mindset was totally changed and hunted. And he called Zu as a cross woman. In this situation, we can realize that Yohyo has become as a slave and a product to the money-oriented world and loses all his warmth and real feelings towards Zu. And let's analyze the characteristic of Zu. In this amazing play, Zu comes as a half woman and half crane who is the representative of nature. And when we analyze this play, we can understand that Zu takes the form of the crane in order to help the man who helped her when he was injured by the cruel Kandar, and as a reply for the great help, she takes the human form and enters in the Yohyo's life as a lovable wife. According to this play, Zu plays the role as heroine who brings the prosperity in Yohyo's life. By weaving Senba Ori, Zu helps Yohyo to improve in his lifetime. Here, Zu comes as a person who always very helpful for the people, those who helps and cares her. Here, the woman's nature was portrayed. According to the psychology, women are the people who gives ultimate love for the people, those who cares them. Even they find some caring and love towards them. They dare to sacrifice their lives for that caring person. And when it comes to Zu, she also acts in the same way. Here, Zu is not a character. She is a simple of love and purity. She waves not for money, but for her husband's happiness. She comes as a person who value love more than money, and whereas Yohyo comes as a person who forgot the real meaning of love on behalf of materialism. Here, Zu represents the nature world who doesn't want to harm anyone and wants to live with nature. She has some childish characteristic as well. She is an enjoyable character who always loves to play with children and enjoys reading and hearing folk flows and playing in snow. And moreover, she dares to sacrifices her beautiful feathers for just for the happiness of her husband. And during this process, Zu loses her weight as well. In this modern era, the readers feel very shocked about the Zu's sacrificeness, as many people even didn't want to sacrifice their happiness just for themselves. So we can consider Zu as a godlike character, and in this play, she trusts Yohyo very well. It creates the love of the Zu as a pure, which have no boundaries and the conditions. She wants Yohyo to have a pastoral lifestyle, and she's worried about the affections of Yohyo towards the money in the latter half part of this poem, which has less warmth, love, and empathy. And in the part of the play, Yohyo tells Zoo that he wants nice things to buy with money. But here Zoo who doesn't know about what is nice thing really mean. For her, the nicest thing in the world is living with Yohyo, with her husband Yohyo, and sharing her feelings and emotions with each another, and living with peace with each other. Here, Sue was betrayed by her husband's words because he thought that he's searching nice things by money than her love. In the climax part of the play, Yohyo's mind is totally trapped with materialistic gains and the devotion and sacrificeness of the Zoo wars come to the end by calling Zoo as a cross woman. This event affected Zoo badly and led her to think about leaving Yohyo. Even though Yohyo acts in a harsh manner, Sue doesn't do any harsh things. She only sacrifices her life and dare to face death for her husband. It tells the depth of the love in the heart of the Zoo, and it draws the image of the Zoo as a holy goddess. Moreover, by peeping in the room, the Yohyo destroys the trust in Zoo's heart. As a result, Zoo can't take a human form and tragically leaves her husband with tears. Although Yohyo has beautiful uh, wife with life with a lovable wife, he thinks of having materialistic gains. He never satisfied with what he has, and in search of the gold, he missed the diamond. I mean, in the latter part of the play, he really missed the diamond. Here, Zoo comes as a diamond, which is very powerful than the materialistic gains which the Yohyo wants to have in Tokyo, the Japan's capital. In a nutshell, we can tell that Zoo is an ideal wife who every man dreams to have. But this amazing thing was destroyed by the two outsiders in the play. Further, Zoo brings out by the poet as an allegory. Let's analyze the characteristic of Zoro and Unsu. If we talk about the characteristic of Zoro and Unsu, they nearly have similar characteristics, and they comes as a representative of the money-minded and the corrupted society at the time. They look the Senbaori in the money-oriented view, whereas Su views it as a reward of the love and caring. In the world of love and affection, Zu thinks that the cloth the Senbaori is priceless. But we all know that materialistic world has price for each and everything in the world. Sodo and Unsu have a witty mindset, and they have a talent to convert one's minds with their witty words. Similarly, I want to say that they are the reason why Yohyo's Yohyo changed as a disgusting in her inhumanity and harsh character in the latter part of the play. Their words have a power to convert one's thinking and change anyone also as them. And this play brings out these characters as the antagonist who destroys the peaceful life of the Yohyo with Zu. And because of this antagonist, this play gets more emotion and more interesting and curious. But the latter part of the story brings us very sympathetic and gloomy mood, because the Su who is one relation of for the Yohyo was left because of his sudden change. And this as I told you earlier, this drama was lightened by all the characters in the play. Thank you for hearing.
Thank you, Arnavi. I am very glad to say that it is an extraordinary presentation, and it will be an it will be it will be an it will be an inspiration to our junior students that have joined in this event. Next, I would like to invite Ms. Sumeda to deliver his presentation.
Good evening to you all. Today I'm going to present about the poem To the Evening Star. The poem Evening Star by the famous poet William Blake. He is an English poet, painter, and printmaker. He was born on 28 November 1757 in England. Poem have many types. According to that, it is a ode and visual imagery type of poem. This poem was written in Romantic era. To the Evening Star is an ode to Venus. Venus is considered to be the Roman goddess of love, beauty, prosperity, sex, and fertility. It is a sonnet by the famous Romantic poet. Venus is the second planet in our solar system and the sister planet of our Earth. Here, preposition to indicates the writer speaking to the evening star. Blake is one of the early Romantic poets, viewed nature in different way. His use of symbolism as well as religious ideas makes his poetic works stand apart from a greater volume of Romantic poetry. Through it portrays the evening star to divine light. It implicitly glorifies the role of God as a protector and preserver. Here the poet used these literary device to emphasize the poet's ideas. The literary devices are allusion, personification, endearment, metonymy, alliteration, rhetorical, and repetition. Here the ideology of Christianity and Greek mythology also found. Sonnet means 14 lines, but no rhyming scheme or meter. This is the sonnet type of poem. Ode is dedicated appreciation of a personal inanimate objects, but no stanza from or accepted length. The main focus of the poem is not elaborating the beauty of nature. As you have learned in this article, Blake is not usually a fan of escapism. In every line, poet shows the importance of the god. The theme of this poem is Blake employs the themes of innocence versus experience, natural beauty, light, darkness, passion, divinity, and purity in this poem. The most important theme of this poem, innocence versus experience. Here the poet depicts the theme in the last few lines of the poem. Thereafter, the setting displays the theme of natural beauty, specifically the natural one. The interplay of light and darkness through implicit in the poem is another important theme of this work. Last but not least, the divine grace and inherent purity of nature also gets highlighted in this poem. We will see line by line. Though fair-haired angel of the evening, the narrator directly addresses the personified Venus as angel of the evening. Here the evening shows the problems in that century in England. The techniques used here is called apostrophe, and it is a common way to starting a ode. Evening is universally symbolized a prevailing problem. The image fair-haired angel suggests not only the beauty and the power of protection. The poet seems starting a prayer to the god by praising her beauty and power of protection. Now visits the sun rest on the mountain light. The word now reminds the reader about the significant function of time which prevails in this poem. Light is a verb which is expected to be fulfilled by Venus, which is therefore a personification. Though is an old English word and it represents you. Thy bright torch of love. The possessive pronoun thy acts as a personification throughout the poem. Bright of love is a metaphor which signifies the dawn of star. Put on and smile upon our evening bed. The action of the obvious muscular movement of the face. Smiling is an indication of approval. It is a personification as well. The narrator is a representative who speaks for the majority rather than for his personal gain. Evening bed is a place where individually sexual activities are fulfilled after their mundane burdens. That's why the narrator specifically selected the goddess of love for her approval and blessing. The interaction adds a demanding tone to the imperative. Let's die west, wind sleep on the lake. Speak silence with thy glimmering eyes and wash the dusk with silver. Those lines represents the poet requires the evening star to put west wind asleep, making the environment silent, and make dust color in silver with the reflection of the star on the lake. Speak silence suggests celebrating the beauty of the silence, make the scene enchanting. Glimmering eyes means eyes covered by tears. Soon, full soon, does thou withdraw. Then the wolf rags wide and the lion glares through the dun forest. The poet understands the fact that every power and beauty do not last long. The evening star has to depart when the night falls and during the daytime. During this period of time, the people would not receive the protection of Venus. Wolf rags wide suggests the falling of night, and lion glares may be suggestive of dawn. A poet suggests the transitory nature of everything and the vulnerability of humans before the evil forces suggested by wolf rag and lion glare. Smile on our loves, and while thou rovest there. Here the smiling is a repetition which emphasizes the narrator's demand for blessing of the goddess. Thy radiant grounds put on and smile upon our evening bed. Smile on our loves represents at the end of a day of hard labor and toil after the sunset, the appreciation, the appearance of evening star soothes people with its beauty and glamour. Poet requests to light torch of love and wear her radiant crown, smiling upon the tired ones and their beloveds. The personified actions of the sun, evening star creates kinesthetic images which the reader can see movements. Blue curtains of the sky scatter the silver dew on every flower that shuts its sweet eyes in timely sleep. Poet requests Venus to scatter evening dew on withering flowers. Blue curtain suggests the color of the sky after the sunset. Flower is personified, giving human quality as shutting eyes. Sweet eyes may suggest the the flower in full bloom, which is now going to be withered. Scattering dew on the flower may be suggestive to soothe it or keep it alive for some more time. The fleeces of our flocks are covered thy sacred dew, protect with thine influence. Although the evening star departs after it shows appearance, the holy effect created remains on the devoted ones. Poet requests the star to protect the innocents from danger forces with her holy power during her absence. Sacred dew brings the poem a holy effect after the prayer is done of her by poet. In this poem, the power of the evening star is celebrated over the nature and human life. It is seen as a guardian as well as a force that beautifies the environment. Without heavenly light, the poem suggested the world becomes a dark and perilous place. Thank you, everybody, to listening me in your valuable time.
It was a great presentation, Sumedha. Next, I would like to invite Master Sagityan to deliver his presentation.
Good evening to you all. In these golden moments, I'm going to talk about the poem sCompany. So it's a human poem in our syllabus, and the poem sCompany was written by Raymond. Actually, Raymond Wilson is a well-known American author of many publications, articles, and in many learned journals. And he was a professor of history in his university in Kansas, and he has won many awards and honors for his writing and university teaching. Actually, the poem satirizes people who are sure that there are no such things as ghost. It is unbelievable, and you can take it as an impossible thing. The humor comes from the contrast between what he says at the beginning and what he says at the later part of the poem. So he decided to spend the night in the haunted house just to prove to his friends that there was no such thing